Here we have an ASUS ROG Strix GTX 3080 OC that came in for repair. Let's read what the customer wrote. I have his ticket opened, and if you look here, what the customer wrote: when I try to start my PC, the GPU flashes for a second, then nothing happens. If I unplug the GPU, the PC powers on normally with no issues. I found a video on YouTube that goes over the same card having a short. I'm assuming it's possibly the same issue. The PC shut down randomly while I was playing a game. So it looks like the customer is having issues when the video card is plugged in. That's a very good indication that we may have a short circuit on our 12 volt lines. We have 3 of them. 3 inputs, 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna start by measuring those 12 volt lines and see if we have a short. If not, then we have to look elsewhere. Under those connectors, we have 3 coils. We have 1, 2, and 3. So we're gonna measure at the coils and see if we have a short. Let's measure in diode mode. Do we have a short? No. 0.46 voltage drop. 0.45 voltage drop. And finally we have a short. You see? We have a short on this coil. And a short on this coil is likely a problem with the V-core circuit. From experience, I know anytime we have a short on our main voltage input, the 12 volt line, it's likely a problem with those chips. And we have another set on the left here. So how can we figure out where the problem is coming from? Let's start by injecting voltage, and then we're going to monitor the board under a thermal camera and see what gets hot on the board. It's likely going to be very hard to see what gets hot on the board because that's a multi-layer board. The board will absorb all the heat, and it's very, very difficult to see any heat spots on this board. But we'll try. I mean, a few times I was not able to see any heat spots anywhere, so I had to manually remove them one by one, the coil. And if we go to our thermal camera, let's inject voltage at the shorted coil and see what happens. I'm interested in all those components that you see here, all those chips, and all the chips that you see right here. It could be any one of them that is causing the short. So let's start with this row of components or column. And do we see anything hot? I see nothing. Right now I'm injecting 1.49 volts and the board is drawing 3.42 amps. But I see absolutely no signs of heat on any one of those components. And if we slide over to this side right here, I see nothing at all. Great. That's what I was afraid of, not being able to see where heat is coming from, because it's really a tedious process to remove the coils one by one and check where the short is coming from. Let me increase voltage a bit. And we're going to try again. Okay, I think I see it. You're probably wondering, what is this guy, crazy? How did he see it? 1, 2, and 3, apply voltage. Yes, I see it. I see it. It's right at the X right here. If we remove the probe, that slight heat spot is gone. So our short is coming from right over here. Watch. One more time. I know it's hard to see, but I see it. See? Right over here. Wow. That is extremely hard to see, but we got it. Let me grab a silver pen and mark it. So I marked that chip. very, very minimal heat. Extremely minimal heat. It's most likely this chip here. And people still tell you, use alcohol. What is alcohol gonna do for you? Heat is extremely minimal. No thermal camera, you're not gonna be able to know that this component is what's shorting to ground. And right now, I'm assuming this component is what's causing the short. So let's remove it and see. Right now, if we count how many chips we have, we just narrowed down the short to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 chips here. And how many do we have here? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 1 out of 22. We narrowed down exactly where the short is coming from. And of course, we narrowed down that chip from all the components that exist on the board. First thing first, we narrowed down most of the components on the board because I know a short on the 12-volt line is likely a V-core issue. So we strictly just looked at those components, and then we used a thermal camera to narrow it down to this one specific chip because I did not see heat anywhere else except very slight heat on this very chip. Let's remove it, and it's gonna take a lot of heat to remove that chip. The board is thick, and it's never easy dealing with components on such a thick motherboard. But of course, when tough gets going gets tough. And I do not think that we have this chip in stock. If the problem is in fact this chip, we're gonna have to order it and wait a couple of days for part 2. But right now, let's see if this chip is what's causing the short. Let's wait for the board to cool down a bit. You do not want to measure while the board is still too hot because you may get false readings. Let's see, do we still have a short? Meter in diode mode, and let's see. Are we gonna get a continuous beep or a short one? 1, 2, and yes. The short is gone. Wow. Look at the meter. You probably cannot see it, but maybe I'll be a nice guy and show it to you. I'll put it right here if you can see it. And if you look, you cannot. Okay. If I do this, maybe you can look at the screen and multimeter at once. And if we measure this coil in diode mode, we have a reading of 0.37. The short is gone. All we have to do is get that chip. And like I said, I do not have that chip in stock. And we're gonna have to order it and wait to get the chip. And hopefully that card is a fix. As long as the GPU itself did not get affected by the shorted chip, then we should be good and the card should be a fix. So we're gonna have to wait until we get the part, and I'll do a part 2 to finish off the repair. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Leave it down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll do something else in the next video.